And we left Trinity House and we went over to Pazapa. I didn't actually take pictures at Pazapa. Pazapa means step by step. It's a day school for children who are disabled, children who have mental and physical challenges. And then we went to the city hall. That's the person on the left is Renaud. He's a friend of ours. He's vice mayor. And so we went and visited with them and talked to them. And again, I've never seen things so clean and neat. And I was congratulating Renaud on the streets and how everything looked magnificent and the hard work they have been doing to build Jacmel. And so this is probably about 1 o'clock or noon, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock. So then what do we have after this, Mike? There's the group at the city hall. All right, so now we go back to the hotel, and it's about 2 o'clock. Dinner's going to be at 6:30. So as you do in Haiti, you sit and you drink Prestige. Are you sensing a theme here? So you sit and you process, you talk. So we went back to the hotel. We were sitting in La Florita in the bar area, having a Prestige, and discussing with our Haitian friends American politics, American history, Haitian history, just trying to get a sense and understand and listen and learn. And at 4 o'clock, I went up to my room for something, and I was coming back down, and one of the students, Kristen, I asked how's she doing, how are you doing? And she said, I'd like to go for a walk in town. Now, I had told the group, I said, feel free to go for walks in town. It's very safe. But if you go in a group, go with a few people, and make sure you have at least one person who speaks or understands Creole with you, okay? So she said, I want to go for a walk, but I need somebody to go with me. And I said, I'll go with you. And so I went down to the bar, and I told the group, Kristen and I are going to go for a walk in town. Who would like to come? It was about 4 o'clock. And a whole group said, we'll go. So counting our group, and plus we had Maya with us. Verbeau had gone back to Tête Collée to look at some things, his ministry. There were 14 of us at the hotel. And so 10 of us went for a walk in town. Sarah went with me, Sarah Thompson, our intern. Laura stayed behind to take a nap. So Laura stayed behind. Another student named Haldor stayed behind to work on his computer. Brad Benal, professor at Trinity Seminary, was resting. And another student named Kelly was resting. And Kelly and Laura were on the 3rd floor. Brad was on the bottom floor in his room. And Haldor was in the lobby using the wireless connection with his computer. So we went out and we started walking through Jacmel, and I was commenting again how clean things were. There were paper mache everywhere because Carnival is coming. They do a carnival, Mardi Gras, a big celebration, and it's on its way. So people were making the masks and the paper mache. And so we walked down the street, and we're looking into art galleries, and there was going to be a band. Can you believe this? On the beach. They had a flatbed trailer. I've never seen this in Haiti. There was going to be a flatbed trailer, and a band was going to play on the beach, and they were going to have a little party. And so one of the groups said, I'd like to go to the beach and check that out. Somebody else said, I saw an art gallery up around the corner, I'd like to see that. So I said, okay, let's swing by the art gallery, and then we'll finish by going to the beach and be back at the hotel at 6:30 for dinner. So we were on our way to that art gallery, and when the earthquake hit, you could hear it before you could feel it. It was like the biggest diesel truck you've ever heard, just a rumble. An earthquake in Haiti was the furthest thing from my mind. I mean, Haiti doesn't have earthquakes, right? I never went to Haiti thinking, I hope we're not in an earthquake. It was just furthest thing from my mind, and all of us, none of us knew what this was. My first thought, and forgive me here, but my first thought was there's a riot. Because I can hear the rumble and begin to hear screaming. And up the street bent around like this, and we could hear it coming from this direction. And my first thought was there's a stampede of people coming down this street, and we need to get the heck off of the street. And so I started grabbing people and pulling them off the street toward these buildings, and there was a tree there. And then I looked at the road, and I saw the road doing this. And it wasn't waves. It was just, like just all over top. And I realized this is an earthquake. So then I grabbed people, and I bruised Sarah. Apparently, I don't remember doing this, but she says I do, and I trust her. Apparently I grabbed her by her arm, up under her arm, and pulled her into the street, and she had a hand bruise on her arm. I went into dad mode. And so I start yanking people out on the street. Well, Maya, our Haitian friend, was just horrified. And he had no idea what was happening. And so he's huddled back under this building. And I'm yelling, Maya, come out on the street. Well, I'm yelling in English. He speaks English. But it wasn't connecting. So I started yelling in Creole, Vini, 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 come, come, come. And so he came out in the street with us. And we stood in the street. And it was just... I talked to a school group on Friday, and they said, was it like a trampoline? And I said, it's not. It's hard. The ground is hard, and it's the ground pushing on you. You're not pushing on it. It's pushing on you. But it's very unstable, and people falling. The house behind us just came straight down. You could just hear buildings collapsing, falling all around us. And, of course, we were in the middle of the street. So what happened was once it stopped, I tried to gather our group, and it's just chaos, complete chaos, dust, rubble, you can't see. A couple in our group were trying to go toward fallen buildings to help people, and I'm yelling at them, no, come on, we still have 4 people at the hotel. We've got to get back to the hotel. So we run, and anybody who knows me knows I don't run. I've got a bad knee, but we ran, and it's been a long time since I've done that. I did a lot of running. So we ran up the street and over toward our hotel. And when we got to the street our hotel was on, you can barely see this here, but everything was collapsed. The rubble in the street. I mean, mounds of rubble in the street. Well, not at this point. So I start down the street. All of a sudden, we're 1 block off the beach. We're the first street by the beach. All of a sudden, people come running from the beach yelling, La Mer, La Mer, La Mer, the sea, the sea, the sea. And I came out to the corner, and the water was coming up the street. Well, in a moment like this, you just don't know. I mean, you just don't know. I see the water coming, and all I'm thinking is it's the beginning of a tsunami. It's just going to come. Well, I got 4 people in the building, in the hotel, and I've got 10 people with me. So I grabbed the 10 that were with me, and I said, run. And we ran up the hill. There was a hill right there and a square at the top. And I ran them up the hill. So we get to the top of the hill, and I tell them, stay here. I don't care what happens, what anybody tells you, do not leave this spot. And I left Maya with them. At that point, Verbeau showed up on the back of a motorcycle. And it's very Haitian. And Verbeau jumped off the motorcycle. When he saw me, he burst into tears. My children had written Verbeau notes, letters that I had taken. And the last thing Jeremy wrote to Verbeau was take care of my daddy. And when Verbeau got to me, he said, this is all I can think of is taking care of Jeremy's daddy. Our Haitian friends. He didn't run to his family, he ran to us. So I grabbed Verbeau and I said, we still have 4 people in the hotel. So he and I ran down the hill back to the hotel. And it's just rubble. I mean, it's rubble. I took that picture after we got everybody out. But I went into the hotel, and there were Kelly, Laura, Haldor, and Brad. And the place was trashed. And so are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And so Laura was injured, not severely, but she was injured. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But behind them, our cook, Alexandra, at the hotel, who we've known for years, the wall fell on her. And she was covered up to here. And so we went around. I had to climb over this rubble to try to get down to her to help. There were 6 or 7 men, digging her out, yelling, she's pregnant. And working to dig her out. Well, then Jean starts yelling, my son is over here, my son is over here. And there was just this mound of rubble. And so Brad and I left Alexander because there were 6 or 7 men working to dig her out. And we went up to help Jean find his son.